Hey kids, it's Englentine, and Mar-Vel won't stop making these Generations books, and so I won't stop making videos about them. It's Captain Mar-Vel and Captain Mar-Vel in the bravest. Normally, I don't like to give a lot of backstory because some people are going to watch this video long after this, but this is after the hurricane. I'm in my room, and there is no air conditioning, so it's a little bit hot.
You merely have adopted the heat. I was born into it, and I say it's hot as balls.
So the book opens with basically Carol Danvers wondering where she is, and she's saying, hey, I was about to give Captain America a piece of my mind, which if you read Secret Empire, and I advise you don't, you would realize she didn't do jack. I mean, she did absolutely nothing. And she said, I was going to give him a piece of my mind. No, you weren't, because by the time they re-evaporated or whatever, he was gone. And then they just stood around and going, yay, we did it, when, you know, nobody but Captain America, the real one, did anything. So anyway, we also see that they cut through any dramatic tension or any seriousness of the story by showing pew pew as the sound effect for the lasers. And then we get the start of what feels like about 70,000 pages worth of Wizard of Oz references that just reminds us that there is something we could be doing that we'd find more entertainment out of. Read this book, watch a beloved classic. Ooh. So, after seeing winged men fly through this one city and attack the people, she decides, there's ugly people and there's beautiful people. I'm going to attack the ugly people and show them that even though I look like one of them, I am not with them. And then she hears a cry for help. And in a city under attack, Carol runs over to the only two people calling for help. And we see one of them tied up, one of them's about to be attacked, and then we see that Carol has the physique of a man. I'm sorry, but they do not. My daughter's an artist. I said, look at this. Does that look like a woman? No. That is a man's physique. There are no, those are pecs. Not lady pecs, but those are pecs. The shoulders are broad. The musculature is all man. You've done it. And then we see that the girl that was being tied up judo chops or flips her way out of this, and she touches heads with the sister, and they're like, oh my gosh, I thought I was going to lose you, and I thought I was going to lose you. And Carol decides to introduce herself. Hi, I'm Carol. Carl. No, Carol, like the name. I'm Loba. Many thanks, Carl. Yeah, hold that thanks. Looks like the winged monkeys are back at it. I wish they were monkeys, smaller teeth. Record scratch. So, on an alien planet in a different time, what do they think monkeys are? Just getting that out there. So anyway, Carol and Luda decide to fight. They send the other one back to get a power modular, you know, MacGuffin City, and she goes and they begin the battle. And the two begin to fight, and they're doing pretty good. Even the person from the culture that does not fight is doing well against these creatures. Until, of course, they get overwhelmed, when all of a sudden, laser blasts come out and start thinning the herd. And, of course, Carol's like, hey, something's familiar about that person. And as they're walking, nice shooting, Tex. As Carol squats down like a guy. I do not know this Tex, young sir, but yes, my unibeam has never failed me, and my aim is ever true. Get out of here. Where would you like me to go, young sir? I'm sorry to intrude, but you appeared to be somewhat distressed. Holy distressed. Ah, yes, I suspected as much. Captain Mar-Vel, it's me. My old boss at the lab, the Kree hero, but he died years ago from cancer. Can this really be Mar-Vel? Is this really exposition? Exposition, exposition. When drawing, the scene won't work. It's you. Fantastic. You have no idea who I am, do you? Aside from a, air quotes, woman of power and verb and intensity? Verb. Oh yeah, that's him. But how did I get here? You wear the colors of an honored Kree warrior. Thanks. Were you sent by the Supreme Intelligence to free me from the phantasmic mire of this negative zone? And so the two exchange pleasantries and then decide, well, it's about time they look for a stronghold of some sorts. So, Mar-Vel, I've heard a lot about you. I'm Carl, by the way. Ah, a fine Kree warrior name, Carl. I thought you had a familiar look about you. Are you sure we have not previously had the pleasure? Technically, yeah. but we could catch up later. Agreed. First to the stronghold. The entrance to the tunnel must be back here. I see no tunnel, but the negative zone can be deceiving. Not that deceiving. Click. And of course the floor falls. Let's go. Ladies first. Obviously that was a plot contrivance in order to make me look stupid and you look smart. I wonder if this will come back up at us again. So those, what did you call them? Scavengers? Is that like a negative zone thing? Don't worry, the scavengers, as long as I'm here, I won't let anything happen to you. Funny, I was thinking the same thing. Ha 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 ha. Quick wit, lady boy friend. Do these lady biceps look I'm lady joking? And I'm not worried. I'm wondering, why are the scavengers attacking this planet or even the negative zone? If you're not worried, then why discuss it, Carl? I believe it's something you like to call women's intuition. Wait, really? Woman? Plus the fact that those scaves are plenty tough to put down. The scavengers are the servants of Annihilus. Annihilus? Can't these guys ever get a normal name like Fred? There is nothing normal about Annihilus. That doesn't even make sense. Is that supposed to be his line? I think they messed up on the word ballooning on this one. Anywho, we continue. Annihilus, the legends say, was born... Annihilus, the legends say, his hatred was born of a desire to survive. So fearful is he of death that he perceives all other life forms as a threat. With his cosmic control rod, an item of immense power, he travels the negative zone, razing world after world, crushing any society he believes could do him harm. Luckily, his wrath is contained to the negative zone, for few are those who have crossed his path and lived to survive. What? Lived to not survive. Lived to survive. I think you can only do one of those. If you don't live, you can't survive. I would like to apologize, dear reader, for this mistake and the mistake with the word balloon on the previous page, not to mention the fact that in a feminist book, they drew Sue Richards as if she had Down syndrome. I wish that this was an uncommon mistake, but obviously these pages were created on Milkshake Day. Hashtag fire the editor. This is the one you spoke of. The one who thought she could resist me and live. I have a name, you know. And what of the others? I will have them. I will destroy them. Yes, you will find them, for I am Annihilus of the living death. My breath comes out in a fiery stream, and I stole Mysterio's color scheme. Considering Mar-Vel and Mar-Vel were traveling to the Dome City to meet the leaders so they can basically help, this page is absolutely useless because they go up to the dome and then the dome police say, hey, halt. And before they can do anything, they blast them. And in the next scene, they take them to the same people they were going to see. So basically, they're standing trial in front of the High Council and they say, hey, dudes, we have a rule about don't fight. And you fought. How do you plead? And Carl says, are you kidding me? I materialized in the middle of a battle where you people were getting your butts handed to you. Captain Carl, I fought for you. You should be thanking me, not treating me like a criminal. Perhaps we should be a bit more diplomatic. We did technically trespass. And then they are about to put their sentence on her. And the little girl that was in the first fight says, hey, if it wasn't for her, I would be dead. And the other one got captured because she fought too. So when the council asks, do you have anything else to say? Carl says, I already told you. Yes, she meant no disrespect to your laws. Duh, mansplaining. My friend here saw your people in trouble and meant only to help. We mourn for the loss of your kindred as we mourn our own. Okay, mansplaining is good sometime. And so the council decides, all right, everything's wrapped up. You're awarded the state, yada yada. And Carol says, yo, what about the other chick? What about Loba? We got to save her. To which the council basically says, tough titty, and says, Guards, can you please take these gentlemen to their quarters? And we see once again there is no desire to draw Captain Mar-Vel as a woman. I mean, look at the physique on the bottom panel. There is nothing feminine in that. Look at the difference between hips and the drawing of both Captain Mar-Vels. It's really, really bad. Captain, you must calm yourself. Are you kidding me? We're trapped in a Madonian prison. Tell me, has the Imperial Academy abandoned all protocols regarding an officer's temperament? I called you a bitch. Temperament? If not for these stupid power dampeners, I'd have already busted out of here. We can't do that. They're interplanetary protocols. Listen, buddy, there are people counting on me, and every second I'm here, I'm not there. Oh, Manvers, I don't think that you're as important to the universe as people like to say you are. And then we see Danae come up and she's like, later, and Carol's like, hey, what about Loba? How can you stand by and do nothing? Captain, I think you'd best. I get that you don't fight, but don't you even care? How dare you? You know nothing of my love for Loba, just as you know nothing of the people of Maidon. You are an outsider. I may be an outsider, but I know what? That the last thing Loba would want would be for me to endanger our people? Did you know that? Did I? I'm sorry, captains. I must go. Thank you for all you have done. Don't say it. Oh, I've already said it, but I won't say it again, not aloud. It's just that I've lost people, Mar-Vel. You know, for the hero that they're trying to basically set the entire Marvel universe around, she really is not written well. And I understand that's what this entire review / parody is. But she is whiny. She's self-centered. I mean, honestly, it feels like the only reason she even helps people is because it makes her feel good. And if I seem forthright, it's just that I see so much of myself in you, young Carl. I, too, was a decorated war hero loyal to the cause, a true man of the Kree, but everything changed when I was sent to the planet Earth. Though my mission was to observe, I found myself drawn to the people. The more I came to know humanity, the more things became complex. I became a protector of the very people I might one day have to destroy. The heroes of Earth didn't always accept me, but still I fought for them, even when they thought I was an enemy because of it. Even when Yon-Rogg hated me for it. Even when our supreme intelligence honored me for it. I could never let go of my obsession with humanity. It fed my vendetta against Yon-Rogg and led to my imprisonment in the negative zone. But there is so much more I wanted from life. So much I loved and lost. You are only one person, Kal-El. You alone cannot bear the burden of saving everyone. No one can. You know, looking at you there, you remind me of an old friend. But more mannish. She was a lot more pretty. Had boobs. Boobs are good. You should decide to get boobs. Or not. I can't really tell which direction you're transitioning into, Kal-El. So it turns out that Annihilus is attacking the Dome City, so Danae lets the captains out of their jail cell so they can go and fight. And it's your pretty standard fight scene. It's in the air, you know, some pretty pictures. It's not great. It's kind of bland. And then something stupid happens as we see Danae go, hey, wait a second, we stood idle for far too long. And then we see basically the culture that has grown to not fight and not do violent things basically wipe out the culture that wars all the time to kill other species. Yeah, I mean, that is the story that the writer came up with. I didn't even check to see who the writer was. Yeah, it doesn't matter at this point. It's not a good book. So another stupid thing that happens is Danae calls out over the sound of the battle that the peaceful people are winning against the warriors. Captains, we have this in hand, but we have no hope as long as Annihilus has marked Maidon as a target. You must stop him. Oh, and side note, rescue Loba. And then, of course, because you can't have Carl Manvers say anything smart. She goes, "There's a Nihilus' ship. It's the only thing in the sky." They burst in, and Mar-Vel says, "Carl, we have yet to discuss our strategy, and Nihilus is not someone to be trifled with. The strategy is simple. Punch the bad guys, Mar-Vel." And it may be silly of me to put 2 and 2 together and come up with punch the Nazi, but in this climate, yeah, I'm pretty sure that's where that came from. "Fools, you dare to face me! I am a nihilist living death. I am the most metal villain in the Marvel. You just look at my cod piece." Yeah, I just made you guys look at a nihilist's dick. Okay, no more jokes because this is a serious matter. This is, okay, so she's like, "Listen, Fred, I'll make you a deal. Let my friend go, and I promise only to hurt you a lot." And let's just get rid of the fact that she looks more mannish here than ever before. Well, maybe not. The Conan O'Brien picture was pretty bad. So he's like, "Fred, you'll suffer my wrath." And so he's more mad about being called Fred than the threat. Like, how does he know American names and that she's kidding with him? So he shoots her, right? And we see Mar-Vel jump in, and he's like, "Stand aside. Allow me to show this villain the proper way to treat a lady." And she, off to the side, says, "Ya know?" Not "you know," but "ya know?" I really don't hear that a lot. They do not give voice to the characters. They give voice to themselves through the characters, and that's been a primary problem of this new crop of writers, artists, and editors. So anyway, now, mind you, she is saying this from offside after she gets shot, and if you pan down to the panels of, or the panel of her, she's struggling. So between the time she got shot and she is laying down smoking and struggling, she says, "Yano, I really don't hear that a lot." Who thought that was good storytelling? And since we can't have the man save the woman that's transitioning, Captain Mar-Vel gets knocked aside by a nihilist, and he's about to shoot, and she's like, "Hey, he's helpless." And then she jumps in front of the beam because, you know, she's supposed to save Mar-Vel. "Carl, don't worry for my fate. If we don't prevail, this was all for naught. Puny mortals, I am the most metal villain of the Marvel. You made mistakes in trying to challenge me." Oh, Fred, you're the one that made mistakes. And even though Carl had been shot twice so badly she ended up in Mar-Vel's arms, she gets up and she blasts a nihilist so powerful, his control rods fall out and he gives up. And now Mar-Vel's dialogue at this point doesn't matter, but what it should be is, "Dude, why didn't you freaking lead with that?" I mean, seriously, why wait for the most powerful blast to the end of the battle? It does not make any sense. But then again, this book is bad. It really is. Okay, I'm sorry, I'm talking over it here. Let's see what's... You know what? It doesn't matter. At this point, we see everybody wrap up, and then Carol Danvers carries Mar-Vel because you have to emasculate the classic heroes. And mind you, Mar-Vel is not incredibly classic. He really hasn't been a significant part of the Marvel U for a long, long time. Even when they tried to bring him back, it just didn't work. So I understand, and this is one of the legacy characters I can handle. Changing Carol Danvers to Captain Marvel? Sure, fine, it doesn't matter. But this book was so disrespectful to everybody. I mean, there are scenes where she's been put in her place by Mar-Vel, and with good reason. But in all honesty, I'm having a hard time finding out or figuring out who is this for. It's disrespectful to the readers. It's disrespectful to the characters. It's disrespectful to the history of Captain Marvel. This is not a good book in any way, shape, or form. The writing is horrible. The art... Captain Marvel at times looks more mannish than Mar-Vel. I mean, they are taking it to an extreme. They are trying to overcorrect so much that they are making her look unpleasant. I mean, making it unpleasant for us to look at her. And I've been stating for about 1.5 years now that is, in my opinion, sexist. It's misogynist. If you can't make a feminine hero strong, if you believe that a woman only can be strong the more mannish you make her, you're not making a strong woman, you're making a weak man. And that's where the gender identity idiots really drop the ball, because they think feminine is bad. They think masculinity is toxic, and neither one is true. It's just different. And neither one is better. Better at some things and worse at others, but that's just life. And that's the problem. And that's the problem with these books. They stopped being about real characters and just about politics, gender politics, mostly. I don't know. The book suffers. It's not good. But the thing is, I can see how it could be. If they had written Ms. Marvel, and by that I mean Carol Danvers' Ms. Marvel, instead of Captain what are we calling now? Carl Manvers. And if they didn't write Carl Manvers, this book would actually be good. Anyway, that's just my opinion on things. What are yours? Did you read this? Or are you just absolutely not going to pick these up? Let me know in the comments below. Also, if you like this video, you want to see more, click like, share, subscribe. Don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss anything. Also, if you don't mind and you like our videos, you don't mind helping us out to make them and such, go on over to Patreon and VidMe. Drop $1 into the till. Now, Patreon, of course, you got the monthly thing. VidMe too, but VidMe also has a tip jar if you don't mind. And we certainly would appreciate it. And it would help us out. Thank you very much if you do that. Thank you very much to those who already have done that. And thank you very, very much for watching.